Hi, I'm Conni Warren. You've joined me here at Getting on the Same Page. I'm joining you from the beautiful Larrakia country in Darwin, the Northern Territory. Here at On the Same Page Consulting, we acknowledge that the Larrakia people are the traditional owners of Darwin, and we pay respect to their elders past and present. We're committed to a positive future for First Nations and Aboriginal people. These profiles are an opportunity for me to share the amazing stories and the amazing people that I come across in my business, but also just from living in Darwin and the rest of the NT. They're stories of my network, my collaborators, my clients in some cases, and sometimes my competitors, which I choose to call colleagues, and the great work that they do. It's an opportunity for us to find out the things that make us different, but also an opportunity to bring us together and identify our sameness. Today I'm talking to Emer from the Sunrise Collection and from Prevent Burnout. She has two businesses and has lived in the Northern Territory for a long time, but has recently left. And she's running these really interesting businesses that help entrepreneurs, professionals, or small business owners to look after themselves and take a small amount of time in their day to make sure that they maintain their wellness and prevent burnout. The information she's going to share is going to be so achievable and easy, and totally will work for people like me that like systems to be able to manage their wellness and well-being. So let's join Emer and see what she's got to tell us today. Emer, thank you so much for joining me. Let's start by getting you to introduce yourself. I know it's always a bit hard to do an elevator pitch of yourself, but give it a crack.
Well, that is something that I keep working on, actually, is the elevator pitch. So I'm Emer, and at the moment I am splitting one of my businesses into two. So it was called the Sunrise Collection. I get up every morning and take a picture of the sunrise and email it to people, and I'm moving into merchandise with that. So I'm splitting that off from my Prevent Burnout business, which is what I'm here to talk about more today. So it's about preventing burnout in like hardworking professionals that don't really get into the woo-woo stuff. They have no time to go to yoga and all of those things that we tend to get thrown at as something that will prevent burnout. It's more about really forming good habits, putting systems in place, and the real foundation to stop you burning out rather than all the little Band-Aid fixes. So, yeah, that's my quick little elevator pitch.
Yeah, well done. You really wrapped it up. So where are you based? Tell us about your places that you've run your business, and also tell us about how you connected to the Northern Territory.
I'm in regional New South Wales. I live on 70 acres, and the closest village is a 10-minute drive away. So I don't think it's that remote, since I lived in the NT in Borroloola.
Yeah, right.
Very remote. And yeah, just here on 70 acres, learning how to farm, continuing my other online businesses, and just chilling out, really. So I actually spent 15 years in the Northern Territory. I've only been out of the Northern Territory for the last 12 months. I moved there when I was 21. So I've spent most of my adulthood actually in the Northern Territory, which is kind of cool. I started the Sunrise Collection in 2020 when I was living in Palmerston. So I started my business there and got help and support from Tree Tea Consulting. I always want to say something else because the community's in the NT, so I hope I said it right.
Awesome.
Yeah, so they helped me a bit and supported me with mentoring and having a business facilitator.
Emer, I'm really keen to see where you are. I understand you've got a really nice view. Would you switch your camera around and show us where you are?
I will, and I'll just fill everyone in. I was just about to say to Connie, so at the beginning of our chat, I was like looking out there. There were two crows chasing a wedge-tailed eagle really closely just out there. So I was a little bit distracted just watching the wedge-tail being so close to the house and the crows going after it. So excuse me if my eyes dart up a few times, but it was kind of cool to see.
Country life at its best, hey?
Yes, it's great.
Impromptu bird show.
Yeah, acrobatics, they were pretty cool.
Do you want to tell us the backstory of the Sunrise Collection or your businesses?
Yes, so I was like in pretty bad sleep deprivation and stuff with my daughter. She was like super clingy, and I decided I'd try to get up like a little bit earlier just so I can like have a cup of tea to myself, because she seriously gave me like no body space since the time she was born. And then one morning, like I used to just like get my cup of tea and sit on the couch and like watch the news or the TV or whatever it was on. And then one morning it was like the most brilliant pink outside, like it caught my eye, and it was just the most amazing sunrise. So I went outside and just had my cup of tea outside. And then that's sort of when it started. I'm like, well, it's so much nicer and calmer and more peaceful starting my day just watching the beautiful colours in the sky. It just gave me such a better start to the day and such a great mindset. And around that time too, my husband started a new job where he would leave home at 5 because he had to start work at 6. So I started sending him the sunrise because he was in like his dark little cave watching the computer to like start his day. So I was like sending him happy little sunrises. So that's where the idea of the sunrise email came from. The burnout for prevention stuff came a bit later because doing like through the business facilitator stuff, I was struggling putting it into words. And what I really loved about it was the calm and peaceful things and just stopping, which led me to burnout. So it was really to stop people so that they had some peace and calm in the day to prevent them from getting that really wound up, just go, 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 which leads you to burnout. And it was around the time looking back that I realised that I actually was suffering from burnout 2 years prior. And that's why I really go the preventative way for burnout, because you can be in burnout and not really know that you are in burnout. The reason that I didn't know is because everyone else in my workplace was the same. It's 4.5 years ago now, and burnout wasn't really spoken about even just that long ago, and definitely not in my workplace. And people that weren't seen to be pulling their weight weren't looked upon very nicely. So yeah, I didn't realise I was burnout until looking back, because I just felt exhausted all the time and just not in a good place. And that happened within the space of 6 months. So, and I can remember while I was at work, I just hated it myself, but I also hated seeing it in everyone else. So that's why I was like, right, we'll have the Sunrise Collection and prevent burnout, because they were doing the same thing, but then it was quite hard to market because they had different focuses sort of, and that's why I split them. So there's the Sunrise Collection now, which is just the sunrises and the emails, and then prevent burnout is like coaching and mentorship and those sort of things. I have my weekly newsletter, which is my main thing at the moment. Like I have a quick like 3 to 4 minute video depending on the week about burnout or stress and things that contribute to it, and a quick little unwind tip. So if you can't access sunrise, if like for example if you get my sunrise email, they're just quick things like find your favorite color red wherever you are, how many things are red, and you count how many things are red, and those sorts of things. So I do a different one each week that you can use anywhere, anytime. And then people can contact me for like a mentorship, a 6-month mentorship, I guess, where you have fortnightly group calls all together that go through my 5 phases of preventing burnout, which is escape, acknowledge and accept, minimize, planning and pushback. And then within that 6 months, you also get one-on-one access to me through that. And that's what I'm focusing on this year. So that's the main way to work with me at the moment.
Yeah, right. So it can be part of a group where you're coming together with peers or other people that might be looking for those, preventative practices. And it can also be individual one-on-one support from you. Excellent.
Yeah.
I do love that it's these little tips of mindfulness, like finding the red in the room or looking at the sunrise photo. It makes it very achievable.
Yeah, and that's the whole idea, because when I was in burnout, I seriously at this job had no time. I was doing some medical stuff and I had to hide in my car for 10 minutes to call the doctor, because every time I tried to do it in my office, like I'd be like, cool, no one's here, like pick up the phone and turn around and someone would be there.
Mm.
So I seriously, had no time. So it's based on knowing that some people have workplaces where they don't get personal time to themselves. There's always someone there, like teachers or police or nurses. So you can sort of do those things and have that bit of mindfulness with people around you without you feeling like you're doing something that people might notice that are looking at you to do.
Yeah.
Comfortable. Yeah.
I totally get that. I know when I worked in an open plan office, I would even put up a sign that said, deep work in progress, do not disturb. And it felt like that was actually a beacon to say, Connie needs you to come and interrupt her right now. Have you got a saying or a phrase, Emer, that you would use in your business or with others that do the same work as you, that other people outside of your work would totally wouldn't understand what you're talking about?
I don't think so, actually, because I try to relate to just normal people. Like, it's trying to really cut down on that cognitive load for people, so that it's in plain, simple terms. There's no need to get a dictionary out or interpret things. It's just starting at that baseline, I guess. So I don't think I have like things that no one would understand, actually. That's a good question. I've never really thought of it.
Yeah, I think that sometimes when we're so used to doing something, we would say, I'm trying to think of an example, we would say something that there's a term that other people just fully wouldn't understand what we're talking about if we were having a conversation, but somebody that does the same work as you would. I really
like police.
Like in police.
Yeah. Oh, just like acronyms for people like in the police and the army. Like, you can just sit there not knowing what they're talking about for a good half an hour.
Yeah, so I suppose that's the thing, that that's our backstory, isn't it, Emer? That we were both police wives, and both of our husbands now aren't police officers. So we're both the wives of ex-police officers, not the ex-wives of police officers, which is
yes.
I know I've definitely in the beginning, especially with police, would sit there going, what are they talking about? They're talking a whole different language.
So I try to cut that out, just make it simple, easy for everyone.
Yeah, great. And I think that's something that's really important, because if you're experiencing overwhelm, you don't want to, like you say, have any extra cognitive load to process what somebody's talking to you about.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm really keen to know, how do people get in touch with you, Emer? So if they're experiencing a bit of overwhelm, or they're going into a new job or something that they realize, I really should prepare myself, maybe they're getting a promotion, how do people get in touch with you? What are the steps they need to take?
The best ways to contact me at the moment is on Facebook, and so Facebook is Prevent Burnout, and on LinkedIn as Prevent Burnout now. Instagram, on LinkedIn, I'm Emer Fahey. I love with people on LinkedIn. It's actually my preferred platform. So Emer Fahey, I've got a bright like orange dress on, is my profile pic. So I'd love to hear from you on LinkedIn. I have morning@thesunrisecollection.com. So I'm happy to chat with you via email through that address if you're keen, and I'd love to chat with you. It'd be great.
Lots of different ways to contact you. I do love your email address, morning at Sunrise collection. It's very easy to remember.
Yeah, cool. I thought I'd do something instead of just how it says hello. I'm just like, morning, since I send the Sunrise email every morning.
All right. So I've got some sort of generic questions that I want to ask you. And my scope for this profile, which I hope to do more of other businesses that are in and from the NT, is that they are in and from the NT. I want to really talk about NT opportunities. You might have seen my hashtag NT opportunities that I use quite a bit. What do you think about the idea of there being some or many opportunities in the Northern Territory?
There is just like endless opportunities in the NT. So many people go up and find that the NT is not quite the place for them. We obviously love it. There are lots of people that hang around, but there are more job openings. There are so many different things happening in the Northern Territory. I know lots of people that went up for one job in one particular industry and now are in a completely different industry up there. I was being an assistant principal in a school, acting as one, and I'd only been teaching for 2.5 years. I know lots of people that have only been working for a couple of years and have gone into leadership positions. And even just non-leadership positions, you get opportunities to do so many more things. You learn a lot faster because there aren't as many people there to do the job. You definitely learn how to multitask. Yeah, I just think there are so many opportunities in the NT, and we probably would still be there if it wasn't for ageing family down south. I just say to everyone, just go up and have a look. You really don't have anything to lose. If you don't like it, then that doesn't matter. Just go back somewhere else that you like. But a lot of people do love it and stay for longer than they first thought. So yeah, lots of opportunities.
Yeah, I agree. I've grown up here, so it's a bit different for me. I probably took it for granted for a long time, but I definitely see that there's lots of opportunities in business and professional life here, as well as, meeting someone or having a family. You might relate this back to your different professions and businesses that you've run, but how do you know when somebody's on the same page as you, Emma?
I think you just find them really easy to talk to, and you're smiling more and laughing rather than it being like a lot of effort to like plan with them. So yeah, I've worked with a lot of people that are just easy to get on with. You can work with them in a team and ideas just flow. And then you have other people where it seems really forced and laboured to even get a conversation going, let alone come to a resolution in an idea. So yeah, that's how I know if I'm on the same page as someone else, is that it's like ideas are flowing, conversations going. There's a lot of yeses. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I think that too. So
sometimes you just click with some people, don't you? And sometimes it comes with time.
Yeah, exactly.
Is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything that you think that is relevant to this conversation, getting on the same page as you?
Well, I think getting on the same page with like preventing burnout and making sure we're going from the start rather than recovery, or, seeing it as such a negative thing and sort of not banning people, but pushing people to the outer that are burnout, making sure that we're embracing everyone and all their different needs. I think that's one thing we should all be on the same page on, is like everyone doing themselves, but doing it together in a way that we support each other, which would be great. And I also just want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. And I love your idea behind getting on the same page and what you're doing and talking to people and sharing all the opportunities. I just think it's fantastic, Connie. So thank you. Great.
Emma, I'm really glad that we got to catch up, not just in this session, but in the prep sessions, because we used to be neighbours, right? And see each other in certain venues that we used to hang out in when our husbands worked together. And a lot's changed, but it's so nice to reconnect with people that you just get along with really easily. So yeah, thank you. Thanks for joining me at Getting on the Same Page. I hope you found this really interesting, or at least as interesting as I found it. Thank you, Emer, for being on my show today. I'll put some links into the comments on the channels that I share this on so that you can link up with Emer if you think that her services are something that could help you. I at least ask you to consider joining her newsletter list at the Morning Collection. It's very useful and a nice reminder for us to look after ourselves. If you'd like to unpack your story or get on the same page with me and offer a different audience the opportunity to understand you, please reach out. Let's chat.